I knew that I was. Sitting in the driver's seat, yeah, with crippling anxiety. Got no devil on my shoulder anymore, cause that fucker is a part of me, yeah. Spend a little time with me, yeah. I really seem to be happy, but stay a little longer and you'll find it's all a night just to get by. Lay down another bottle every night. The pills I swallow are just to get high. So when you see me smile, I'm dying inside. It's not a happy place inside of my mind. I fell in love with you, I knew that I wasn't enough for you. It's true, I kept buying more stuff for you, but you left me in the dark. Break my heart, it's not that hard. I fall in love too quickly. I'm addicted to the dark. I love what isn't good for me. Break my heart, it's not that hard. I fall in love too quickly. I'm addicted to the dark. I love what isn't good for me. I tried to close my heart again, but it's bursting at the seams. Let's spend some time apart, she said, but we both know what that means. This life is a fucking disaster. Blink by blink, it's moving faster. The dark takes place of the fading laughter. But don't look now, it's getting sadder. There's heartbreak and heartache in every chapter. The devil watches over and he's getting madder. My world doesn't end with a bang or a whimper. It just keeps on going, but I'm all alone here. Break my heart, it's not that hard. I fall in love too quickly. I'm addicted to the dark. I love what isn't good for me. Break my heart, it's not that hard. I fall in love too quickly. I'm addicted to the dark. I love what isn't good for me.
Wendy's new Saucy Nugs come in 7 saucy flavors. Yep, you can literally hear your taste buds going. Taste bud sounds may vary. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
But
Can they
now
not
we
hear
do.
us? Okay, cool.
Welcome one, welcome all.
Go ahead.
SureFire Fantasy.
Dig in.
We're mostly me. Was a little nervous for how to start this one because we usually do practices, but
We're in a
all
new
live this
environment
year.
too.
We're in a new place.
Not in the basement.
This is my
anymore.
new house.
Yep.
We just had nachos that were amazing.
Fire.
Yep. You
So
just got married.
benefits of having a wife. You get nachos for your podcast group. And
You
yeah,
have
we're
an
back
iPad
for
now.
a new season.
He even has an iPad now.
I even have my wife's iPad, so
Oh.
it's a win-win-win-win-win. Oh shit!
What happened?
He's not ready.
What
He
you got?
wasn't ready.
No, I left it at work. My championship ring. I don't have my
Oh.
championship ring. I
Jordan-
need it after the dress debacle or the skirt debacle for golf.
You gotta remind people you've
your
been
ring,
a
I
champion.
gotcha.
So we have a fun and exciting podcast coming for you guys. There's a huge plan coming. We have
Yeah, we have a lot. We're gonna discuss when is this 40 time going down?
yes
You
the
know
40.
it?
Yep, the 40 with me and Kevin,
Yep,
which
the bet
there's
for
no
the
plan.
chip.
well, him and me need to talk about that, and we just need to do it. We need to go to like that Avon track or something.
I hear there's a place in Carmel too.
We can do that. Hey, anytime, anywhere, any place, as long as I'm able to do it.
Guaranteed to win.
He's probably gonna beat me after we did that little practice. The practice.
I told you
40,
he's
so I was
quick.
like-
He is quick.
It's
well,
that
I just
tennis.
realized I'm not as fast as I used to be.
That's
Tennis.
tennis.
It's the hammies. I don't got the hammies anymore. Anyways, welcome. Haven't seen you guys since the draft. It was a long day, that draft.
We had 2 drafts.
Yeah, you and I had 2.
Yeah.
A couple other people in the league had 2.
Some people
But,
went out, kept drinking, getting porn star shots.
Yeah, Brad was hammering shots at the
Yeah.
draft.
But we now know
so he should
Logan
be.
will not be dealing with any
Yep.
of that kind of
No,
blasphemy
he has
anymore.
gotten rid of the sinful ways, and
So we're gonna talk
glory
about.
to God.
We're going to talk a little bit about the draft recap,
Yep.
reaches, falls, that kind of stuff. We're going to go through rankings because we did get everybody's rankings, even Dalt, by the way. Congratulations, Dalt. Little Henry, the future of our league right there.
H-Dog.
Yep,
H-Dog.
All right,
We
all
got
right,
him.
all right, all
Already
right.
got nicknames.
H-Dog in the house.
You're
Lots
next.
of uncles.
Yep,
You're
J-Dog.
next.
J-Dog, H-Dog.
So we got little Henry, and even he got his rankings in with a baby. He got him
Yeah,
in.
he was
He told
nervous.
us he wasn't gonna do it. He wasn't gonna be able to get to him, and then today, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he
He said
sends
there's
his rankings in and put me last.
a lot of a lot of black tartar.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun.
So we got that. We got some reaches, some steals, just a draft recap.
And we're going to do things a little differently here. We're going to go into the rankings, and then we're going to analyze each person's draft, so that way each person has their moment. We can talk about, what their draft strategy was and how we felt about it. So the ranking section will be longer, and we'll analyze each person's draft and go from
Hopefully
there. So
we don't
hopefully
double dip this time.
Yeah, a little
Usually it's a
interaction.
2-hour pod.
We did plan on having something on this TV. We will next time. Technical difficulties stopped us from doing
Always.
that.
Yep, we forgot HDMI
We forgot.
adapter. That's really difficult.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways.
it's weird seeing us right here. By
Yeah.
the way, it used
It's
to be
Well, I'm
big.
gonna have
right
it
here.
smaller, so we'll
Yeah.
be able to see. But yeah, it is weird.
Hey,
I can't stop looking at myself and
Because you
realizing
can see it in
I'm
the
out of frame.
reflection.
not
back
looking.
and forth.
Honestly, I have to change the framing a little bit.
Oh.
Because if I lean the way I want to lean, I'm out of shot.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
That's the
there we
focal
go.
point.
There we go. There we go.
So
let's get into this.
Let's
into
do
the
it.
rankings.
All right.
Are there any thoughts? Who is last place? I've heard some.
Are we starting with
rumors.
rankings?
We are starting with rankings, but it's a draft
Did you not hear
special.
what I just said?
Welcome to the SureFire podcast. Yes.
Boom. I'm sorry. I just didn't know that.
Yeah.
They kept telling me what we were starting with, and I just wasn't.
So yeah, go
listening.
to the draft.
Go to the
board.
draft
All
board.
right. Here is
So
draft.
here's our
board.
draft
And
board.
then you're going to
Beautiful
click
draft board.
on number 10,
Yep.
coming in at the bottom.
Make sure. Can they? What are they seeing? What we want them to see? Yeah, they are. Okay. Number 10 coming in at the bottom. Oh,
Mr.
you wanna- okay.
Papa Bear himself.
Who? Colton?
Adult. Oh, yeah. New Papa Bear.
That's his team right here. Now, should I click on it like this, or should
Yeah.
I go to his actual team?
Not like that, because
I like that because we can
it's
see
a draft special.
So keep it like this.
Yeah, because there's going to be some talk of the reaches and the steals. I think we're going to talk a little bit about this team, though. I think there was a lot of shocks. I know why he picked Henry now. Baby
Yeah.
Henry. Henry's going to score a few touchdowns, probably as many as Baby Henry just days old on Kevin.
It'll be a fun first game. That's for sure.
That's tomorrow, isn't it?
I hear there might be rain, like thunderstorms, which might be real good for a running game. Hopefully, if there's a delay though, if there's a thunderstorm delay,
Oh,
I'm
we're all
gonna
gonna
lose my
freak out.
fucking mind.
But
Brad, are you saying that you haven't drank alcohol since the draft night?
Kevin said Dalt at 10 is the shocker of the night.
Dalt at 10 is the shocker of the night.
You took Ken Walker at 4?
I like the Kim Walker.
I didn't know he took it. We were talking mad.
So that, I will say that I want to.
I was not talking any shit.
I want to talk about adults. Like, I love his Kim Walker pick. I think the Derrick Henry pick's fine too. It might have been a little bit of reach, but he wouldn't have gotten him back.
Even the Kelsey pick is fine. I don't
No,
like
but
it.
the Kelsey
it's
pick is kind of tough.
It's together. Like, picture his team if he had Henry and AJ Brown, and then he got Kelsey in the third.
Yeah, that would
The
have been
problem
ideal.
is
Remember,
that
so
the
it's-
pairing.
Yeah, so then you pick Mahomes basically at the start of the third, or you can call it the second round.
But does
So, and then he went with Walker, which we like Walker.
I like the Kim Walker
Right.
pick a lot.
And then, but the problem is that was a back-to-back, so then he also went with McBride.
No,
so,
he went and got his wide receiver one,
Doom,
which is McBride.
Doom. So, yeah, so he got a tight end. Wide receiver one. He got a tight. I mean, he's not because he got Marvin Harrison. But, so that was a back-to-back, and he had to wait a long time. He had no wide receivers through round 5. Is really the
And
thing
then they
the
hammered
draft
him,
was talking about.
which I like.
Did hammer him after that, yep.
I think it's the two tight end is Dalt's approach, and I appreciate it. He did make the playoffs last year with this
But he's not
approach.
starting McBride.
Yeah, if you're in here, Dalt, are you
He's
going to
not?
start him?
No, he's
I haven't looked at that.
currently he's not starting him.
Well, his game, he's very into the Thursday night game. He has 3 Kansas City
He's
players
all in. He
and
is
Derrick
all in on
Henry.
that fucking-
So,
pins and needles on
he's hoping there's no
tomorrow.
rain. He wants a full out.
But I think we can all agree, Derrick Henry, I'm fine with the pick. I think it's a good pick. Kelsey, slight
Yeah, holy
reach.
crap, he's got 4 players playing. Well, he's
Yeah.
not playing McBride's not one of them. He's playing 4 people on Thursday. Well, that'll be fun. What is this little thing that's popping up? You
Did
see
I just
this?
do it? Yeah, I just clicked it.
Did you just
I
do
wanted
it?
to see
It
if I
just
could put
popped-
it
yeah.
on. Put it on.
Oh, I just gave Dalt a poop emoji. I'm sorry,
I
Dalt.
wanted to see if I could put it on.
Wait, I'll give you a
Fire.
thumbs up emoji.
What the-
That's why we were seeing those emojis earlier.
Oh.
If you click on...
I don't know where it's going.
I think it's going
Oh,
to
it keeps
him.
going on the Giants. I think you have to do it during the draft.
Oh,
Sorry, man.
No poop emojis coming out.
All right, but
so.
let's just look at his draft as a whole. So Henry, Kelsey, Mahomes, Walker. We talked about that. So then he had to get wide receivers.
Which I like Amari Cooper there. I was
He needed
debating
to
on
get
him
him.
myself.
I actually just heard today Amari Cooper was one of the they were going to get Ayuk and they were going to give Cooper to
That's what I heard too. So
which is crazy.
that's too
Yeah,
much for
he
Ayuk. in my
always
opinion.
gets
Godwin,
around.
that's fine.
Godwin is not my favorite, but we'll see.
But that's kind of the range though when you get in that range.
Right, he kind of had to do
wide
that.
receivers. You have to go with it.
Dark Horse Squad. I don't know about Dark Horse
Xavier
Squad.
Worthy's very interesting. He could be their Tyreek Hill. You know, with his forward, like he had the fastest 40 time of all time.
I mean, he needs it to be.
So
he hauled in a touchdown on Saturday.
Projections are. That's PPR. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
We just got to see it because
He went and got Brian Robinson too, who's technically an RB1.
yeah, that's he loves Brian.
So he
Robinson.
took a lot
has
of-
him every year.
He took a lot of the late. Like I really like Keon Coleman.
Me too.
I
I
think
like
he
that
might
pick.
be the one there, or might become the one. Although I think it might be Curtis Samuel, who I got off waivers, or no, not in this league. Right? Someone drafted Curtis Samuel. But Curtis Samuel and Keon Coleman, the wide receivers for Buffalo, are just getting completely slept on.
I will say he did have a shocker of the draft. Even our draft board didn't have the guy. He took Cam Akers
yeah.
in the 14th. Even the draft
I
board
didn't even
didn't have
realize
him.
that.
I will say I think this might be considered a steal. But
So wait, our draft board didn't have Cam Akers?
Jameson Williams is a good.
I agree. I was about to say
really
that.
like
I think
that
that's a
pick.
huge steal.
Yeah,
I think
that's
he
a
is
steal.
super slept on, Jameson Williams.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
he got better last year. You know, he had the issues the first year, and then he got better last year. Didn't get a play all year, even I don't think last year because of the gambling thing.
Yeah.
And he looks explosive. So I mean, and that team's going to be good. You always want players on good teams, and I will say he did get a lot of players on good teams. Like he went for that. Well,
Because he has 3 Kansas City
I guess he's
players.
back and forth. Yeah.
So, deal is Jameson kind of reaches, or probably Kelsey and McBride. is
We
the way I
received
look
Yeah,
at it.
multiple
Kev, that Dalton board
votes
didn't have him.
for
Yeah.
Kelsey as a reach.
We did hear a vote for Henry. I disagree with that
Yeah.
one, but it was a vote we received in it. So,
Yeah.
is there anything
I
else to kind of say about it? Or?
No, we'll
think
save.
we'll move on.
We'll save him for when he beats Kevin next week.
Yep.
Then we'll really
That
talk
would
about.
definitely change things up a bit.
So,
I mean, he'll know if he's going to beat him or not tomorrow night.
Yeah, I would. Man, those first nights, usually them Thursdays, are like insane. We have kind of a. I'm gonna call this the Monaco Man special.
We're going to number 9 here.
We have someone at number 9 who was once at the top of his game.
And
Our
when I
first-
click on his name, by the way, it's gonna look very interesting.
Yeah. Mr. Trade himself, 2-time champion, Jay Bondo, coming in at 9.
Do you guys think he should be here?
Yes.
I don't think so. I like
9 feels low, but
It feels really low to me.
I think it's showing what our league is now. But I think this is what happens when you don't have a first round.
Yeah, maybe
pick.
the league doesn't see a first round, and then his first 2 picks are one guy who suddenly is a punt returner, which scares people. Now it doesn't scare me too much, but does a little bit. You're lying if you say it doesn't at least scare you a little bit that he's all of a sudden the punt returner. And then I know that they have Corum, who they said is going to be the kick returner, but the kick returns aren't really dangerous this year. He's a rookie. Rookies
They
get
said
that
Corum
job.
was going to be a kick returner.
They just said today Corum was the kick returner, but the
He's the punt
kickoffs
returner.
this year aren't going to be a threat. And then you got Debo Samuel,
Wide
who
receiver
is
3.
I
probably
like
a wide
Debo.
receiver 2 on
You
the
guys
league.
aren't in the Debo
Maybe
camp.
3.
You're not in the Debo camp.
I feel that price is high. I think Debo, he got moved last year on trades, and he's always a pivotal piece. But just seeing him go right there,
Mm-hmm.
I just think
I
I know
like the
when
pick.
the draft happened, we didn't know anything about Ayuk. But I think now, looking back on it, the fact that Brad got Ayuk 2 rounds later, who I think will be the wide receiver 1, makes this look even worse. I mean, we're ranking the teams as they are now, and now I think that Jordan has the wide receiver 2, and he drafted him with his second pick on a team that doesn't throw the ball that often. They throw it efficiently, but they don't throw it that often. But I do like
I think
Etienne.
it's 1A, 1B kind of thing. It's not like 1, 2. It's like one has a game, the other one doesn't. But I see your point. It won't be the alpha, what you're saying.
But I feel Jordan does what he always does, and he went and got 2 stud
See,
running
This is
backs.
just my kind of team. He
The-
has DK Metcalf.
The Metcalf one is the
Etienne.
problem
I
for
love
me.
Metcalf.
You don't like
I
Metcalf?
love
No,
Etienne.
every year we're waiting for this guy to do the thing where he becomes
He's
this
the guy.
this fantasy god, and he's
Believe.
never, he's
But they-
always the most annoying, frustrating.
There's
person
new
to have
coach,
fantasy.
new offensive coordinator. I think the game plan's changing there a little bit. I think
We'll
they
see.
built the team around the young studs of Metcalf, Walker, and you're going to see some eyes
Like
on
26.
Wide
JSN.
receiver 15, bro. Look at that.
He's so boomer bust. Though.
He's a dog. He had 40 in one
I
week
didn't
last
realize
year.
he was so consistent towards the end of last year. Oh, that's full PPR. I wish it showed half. I don't know why it's not showing half.
He's Gucci, man.
But yeah, he was
He did-
consistently mid.
That's
Right?
what you expect, though. I mean, he wasn't drafted.
Hey, so like a round 4 wide receiver.
Yeah, he's being around 4. I think you want those 10 points.
I want DK.
Got
Throwing
Pittman,
him,
who was a target hog last year.
I'm not
People
in on
forget-
Pittman.
But see, the difference
I'm not
is
in
I
on
am in on Pittman. He just gets the targets, and he's gonna keep getting the targets.
we had this conversation, I think, a little bit. We were talking about it. Was Pittman, and it's a very small sample size, but was Pittman actually good with AR, or did
Right.
we all feel that?
the sample size isn't big enough to know that
Yeah.
for a fact. But I think AR is gonna have to lean on him as a crutch because he's
Oh, yeah.
not an accurate guy. He's gonna have to throw to the big guy who gets open on short routes.
And it
more
does feel he likes the short throws, even though the dude has a cannon.
Yeah.
So
I mean, those are the ones he's gonna have to use.
I
And
mean-
he's got some back-to-back Cardinals and Zamir White. Zamir White is a steal. He's one I should have talked about. I mean, he goes there, but it is interesting. He was great last year for the Raiders, and now he's like officially the starter. Like they don't have Jacobs, and get him as late as you get him.
This man cost Robin a championship.
Did
That's
he?
all I can think about.
who?
I don't.
Zamir, I think he
did?
started him over Javante. That's why he lost, or the other way around.
No, he didn't start Jerome Ford.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't start Jerome.
Kevin's
But he
also
started
on Pittman.
Zamir or something over him.
I can't remember who he started, but it was Jerome
Yeah.
Ford. Is
I
who he
think
was
Pittman is
supposed
hard to root
start.
for, Kevin. I get being out on him because there's nothing. Even though I'm a Colts fan, so I want to like him even more. I think if he wasn't a Colt, I would think he's the most boring. He'd be like
He is boring.
He'd be way more boring than Mike Evans. And Mike Evans, I feel boring. But, like, Pittman is slow, kind of tall, but not crazy tall, and just, I don't know. He somehow produces, so.
I
so
feel his team's just decent.
I have a
everywhere.
question. That's not where Zamir White's supposed to go, right? There is no way.
Well, you gotta keep in mind this is like round 8 for Jordan.
And he does go.
Like,
but,
pick 8
but,
for
but,
Jordan,
but
right?
where he went was there.
He goes before Stevenson.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Stevenson. I don't know what
does.
Zamir's ADP is.
It's a good. He should go.
Yeah,
high.
it was Zamir over Ford. That's what cost Robin. I knew it. Sorry, man.
Interesting. I didn't know it was Zamir. That makes it even worse. I thought it was at least like Javante.
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
brutal.
That is extra brutal.
So I love both. I almost did this in a league. I actually drafted Murray. I didn't end up taking Daniels, but he was there. But I love both his quarterbacks because I feel like both of them have the highest upside for a late round draft.
I like Kyler.
The dude likes Daniels as much as he likes Tennessee Titans. I can't think of his name right now. I'm going
Will Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis.
The Titans are going to be so fucking
He
bad.
is all up these two quarterbacks.
Well, Robin makes bad decisions. This is what Kevin. That's just so savage.
It was your fault,
Robin
Kevin.
makes bad decisions.
I like Josh Palmer where he got him. I think that's a steal because he could be the one, honestly, for Justin Herbert.
Yep.
I like the tight end value in Njoku. I mean, he's that 10th tight end to come off the board, but he finished strong last year. But it was a Flacco for a good portion. So.
Anyways, I think his team is one of those ones that you're probably right. He doesn't have a clear first round draft pick.
I like it, man.
Which is probably, and then even his first picks were ones that are like some people love, some people hate. They're not like obvious names. Like
So,
you didn't take those. So
Here,
maybe
what the
that's
crazy thing is the 6th round pick of Zamir White is what he gained,
Yeah, I guess and Singletary. Well, no.
and then every other.
No, he
one-
lost a pick in that round.
he gained.
His
I mean,
pick-
all
his
the trade
trades
picks are
so
gains.
confusing.
Kyron, Metcalf, White, and Singletary. He wouldn't have been able to get them.
Well, he moved.
But he lost his first round.
But he lost
pick.
his first. So you add Brees Hall on this team, or Tyreek.
You add
Hill.
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall instead of Kyron.
Add
This
Brees
is
Hall.
probably a stud team.
Yeah, and then
Because he could have had DK probably 2 picks later.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah,
he
you're
did
right.
his shifting.
Yeah,
so-
if he has Brees Hall instead of
Brees
Kyron.
Hall instead of Kyron looks so much better.
Brees, Debo, Etienne, DK,
I think
Pittman.
Jordan,
That's pretty solid.
I think his new thing he's doing right now that he really enjoys doing, because I know in Dynasty he's also kind of doing this, is he really likes trading away like the big names or big things to get more depth in general. But he's not always done this to this extent.
But I think he did it last year too, and he
It
gains
worked.
that value off the bat, and then he tends to make one big trade.
Yeah, that's what he
Because
does.
he has the depth, and then he kind of consolidates into more of like a powerhouse starting lineup. But I mean, I guess it's best to take the player's value at its highest.
He's become one of our biggest traders. Really. He used to not trade at all.
Well, he trades draft. He doesn't trade regular season.
No,
No,
I
he-
think there was like
he traded
6
with Coleman.
trades
Oh, did he?
last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we'll move on from Jordan. He's an easy one to talk a long
Shock.
time about because of all this
I'm
stuff.
shocked by
big
that one.
shock though. Coming in at number 9. The rankings all were very close, by the way. And today, like a few of you sent in some changes, and it just like had some flip flops.
I think like 6 people had first place votes. Like, it
Yeah.
was very
unreal.
Yeah, it was
so
unreal.
coming in at number 8, the man that will provide you with the best information to lose your
Who's it
fantasy
gonna
championship
be?
is Kevin.
Kevin.
Kev Dog.
Straight line again.
Straight
I like
line,
straight
no
lines.
trade or anything.
Clean.
He rides a straight path, this
So
man.
Kevin at 8. Are you guys surprised?
Wait, before we
This-
dig into this, can we just say our condolences for getting absolutely shit on by Brad and our
Pour one out.
Yeah, pour one out for Kevin.
Oh, you're gonna get him talking smack in here about how
Well,
great
he
he
said
is.
he just said he made a comment to Mike today about how
Oh.
you're not getting number 1 today.
No, his rank's gonna match in Dynasty what it is today. He's gonna be ranked 8 in
Yeah,
both
he's
things.
gonna
Poor
plummet.
Oh.
Poor fella.
Anyways,
That's
the
a
rest of the league
shame.
doesn't know about that. So, but anyways,
This is not a Kevin team.
Yeah,
it
Kevin.
was the running backs.
He's usually Mr. Wide
Kevin, what
receiver.
makes you go more running back heavy this year? You seem to.
You're gonna regret it, I promise you, because I do it every. I use it every year.
But this is what Jordan does.
Because the
The
problem
Jordan
is when you
ranked
do
his
this, you there's a lot of hopes. You're always trying to hope for the running backs, and there's a good chance they miss. Whereas the wide receivers, it's a pretty long shot they miss if you get a wide receiver in the first.
But
like,
let's be
7
real.
rounds.
Who thinks that Kevin drafted with the board, with the mentality of this guy's not going to be on my team?
100% he's trading.
Okay.
Because running backs have more value at that point.
Well, what Kevin did though, he didn't go in planning on this. He took the board. He took the players that dropped to him. I mean, this is just the way it fell.
He also didn't want
He did-
Tyreek
he
or
stayed
CD
water.
because he had him last year, which
Well-
is unreal. He had both of them and did not
I love
win.
Bijan Robinson. That's a good pick. Now
Yeah, that's
he
a good
says he
pick.
would have taken CD if he would have heard the contract news
contract.
before. That's why that was sketchy. But
That's
I still love
interesting.
Bijan. But I mean, he took the players that ended up just falling to him because wide receivers were really hot this year. So I mean, I think he
They
stayed.
were hot. They were very hot. It was
Instead of
definitely
trying to
different.
be the person that he always is and draft a certain way, he does what he always does, and he just took the best players available, which is smart.
He made it
That's what
clear
he
he
said.
didn't want Neighbors, Pittman, or DJ Moore. So that's why he kind of chose to stick with
the
trend.
DJ Moore hate this year is weird because I feel like every year DJ Moore was always the guy that I didn't think I liked, and everyone was high on him. And then last year he plays amazing with a bad quarterback or a mid quarterback, and now this year everyone's so
It's
mid.
similar to like the Texans with
Yeah.
too much talent potentially.
It's just the unknown, but
I
then
just
you
think
also
it's so
throw
clear
in.
Moore is the one.
Yeah, I mean
You
have
don't know
three
what
guys.
the Bears and that QB is going to do.
Yeah.
At least CJ Stroud and the Texans popped off, and you're just throwing in Keenan Allen is like he's a guy out there.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the picks that I love, and then you guys tell me some picks you love because I'm curious about this. So personally, for me, picks that I absolutely love that he made was James Cook is such a value there
Yeah.
because how good he did last season towards the end. Why would that stop now? You get him so late, and he was actually great all year.
Actually, that's his best pick.
A-Chain is A-Chan is his like
That's a boom.
boom or bust.
Yeah.
Yep. But
That's
so
your
he's
guy.
not one of the ones I love, but I like it.
I
But,
thought he was going to take Pacheco.
So
I
the
did
ones
too.
I absolutely love are James Cook and George Pickens. I think Pickens is the best player in that area and that round for what he could end up being. Like he started doing really good last year with no matter how much you don't like Russell Wilson, he's better than Pickett.
he's a deep ball
And
machine.
now
too.
he doesn't have Deontay Johnson stealing from him, and when somebody can make a catch like the one he made that was basically like the Odell catch,
Yeah.
you know a guy is talented as shit. And you get him that late, the number one wide receiver on it. No matter what you say about Pittsburgh, every year they're good. So they should
Yeah, they're
still
coached
be.
well. They should be good.
People are saying they won't be good again, but they will be. They'll always be good.
Do we even know who the wide receiver 2 is on that team at this
I
point?
have no fucking
No.
clue.
So yeah, I mean Pickens value, Cook value.
I know who the tight end is. Is it Fryermuth?
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
They still got the two-headed monster.
Do you like the Tank Dell picks?
There was value there, but
I don't like any. I don't even like my Diggs pick too much, just because I don't like any of those wide receivers because I don't know what's. No matter what, and all three can't be crazy viable for fantasy. Stroud won't have the greatest season of all
it's
time.
not gonna. It's
I
not
think
gonna.
this is why people are down on Houston and the Bears. Is I think just history has proven no one can sustain 3.
Yeah.
No one.
No one can. Yeah.
I
So,
can't remember who the last.
so no matter what, one of them won't be.
Yeah.
And if I'm picking one,
it's Tank
I
Dell.
would guess Tank Dell. And he'll be the guy who gets the bombs every once in a while. But I don't think he's the one
Well,
that gets to sustain.
What will be
workload.
interesting for him, and it's a very unique situation because these are his wide receiver 2s, is who do I start, Dell or Pickens? And he's going to have that every other week kind of.
Pickens every week.
Crap. Oh, crap.
He's
went
starting
off.
Dell right now.
The problem is he also has a Dunze, which is basically Tank Dell. The
I mean,
same
I
thing.
guess I don't know about that.
It's the same
Wide
thing.
receiver
It's
3 on the
Oh,
same.
wide receivers
yeah.
3 on a team with a really young quarterback that you're hoping is going to have a firepower offense.
Okay,
that you don't
I
know.
see what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
gonna be,
Now, he got him really
he's gotta
late.
get it right.
He
you
got
know,
him really
you gotta
late,
get
but
it.
they're
you're
like
right.
the
That's his
same
wide receiver
player.
too.
His wide receiver 2 is a
It's gonna be
carousel of, am I
interchangeable.
going to pick the right guy?
He got Kittle at a good value.
Very good value. But obviously now we feel the same thing we feel with
He got
Dell.
Alligator late.
Started
I just
that
like
game.
saying it. I don't know who did it. Someone at the draft. I think.
He, shockingly, he's probably got the worst quarterback. Fantasy-wise, I don't need no Packer lovers coming after me, but I think fantasy-wise...
Van Jefferson is wide receiver too.
Wow.
Oh, I forgot they had Van Jefferson.
But
Wow, Logan's
I feel
full
that...
of information. That's crazy.
Tampa Bay
He
was
said
the
Tampa
last
Bay
year.
was the last 3 stud wide receivers back in
2012 and 13. Who were they?
Well, it's still Mike Evans.
In 2012 and 13?
Yeah,
still
Wow,
not
he's been
bad.
around forever.
Yeah, 10 years.
No,
No, probably 3.
no, not that long.
Yeah.
I believe it was Mike Evans.
That's over 10 years ago. That's 12 years ago. Isn't it?
Gosh, don't tell me that.
So
Who the Logan? Tell us who those wide receivers were that they fostered 12 and 13.
Love was QB5 last year. Yeah, he was.
So you got great value then, so
Yeah.
that's a value pick. But
I
you
mean,
were,
he's gonna stream.
he was the last person
That's
to pick
where
a
he's
quarterback
at.
off the board, so
That's where he's at. Puka fell a little bit
Two
to
people
him.
telling us, Jalen.
he's also the highest paid.
I think Love is just a boring pick, and that's why we're thinking that. But yeah, he was good last year.
But how good of a value is that? I mean, it used to be
it
that
was like the last quarterback
we
in the
waited
draft.
to take quarterbacks like that,
Yeah.
and now think there's Herbert, Goff, all these other guys out there.
Well,
still.
Herbert has never ever been good in fantasy.
I mean,
no
what
matter
round
you
did
wanna
he
say.
get?
Rookie.
What round did he get? Love
Rookie year, he was
anyways?
like 12 or
12
something.
team.
Yeah.
Yep. He was by far the last one.
That's still way below what
Jordan
Love did
already
last
took
year.
2. No one else took 2.
Logan, I still need to hear who those wide receivers are because I can't stop thinking about it.
we can't
But
move on until
2012 Buccaneers. Can't even think what that team was. What was that freaking team?
Was Doug Martin on that team?
Doug
Oh
Martin
my
was probably
God,
on
I
that
love
team,
Doug
but I don't know.
Martin.
I don't know who the
I
wide
mean, I have
receivers
Google
were.
here. If this guy's not here,
Well, no, don't worry about it.
But
He'll
I
tell
guess
you.
just to summarize his draft, I think, a steal for me would be James Cook and
Higgins and Kittle.
Kittle. I'm going to say Kittle.
Kittle is the value.
Kittle's value. James Cook, I believe, is the value. And then reach for me.
He didn't reach.
I think Bijan's a slight reach at 3 when you pass
If you wanna
up
get
all
technical,
those.
yeah.
Because it's tough to pick a reach for his, honestly.
Because he followed the board.
He really did follow the board, but
I would say maybe White would be considered the reach because I think I think a few of the wide receivers probably could have gone before him. So.
okay.
Just realizing them because we're on 8 still. And it's
Okay.
30
Yep,
minutes.
sounds good.
All right, Kevin. We'll see how you perform.
I'm sure after week 1, we're all going to think your team was actually amazing, just like always.
I don't know. We'll see. It's him and Dalt. So.
He says you're online.
Oh, damn.
All right, who is number 7?
Coming
Who
in
we
at
got?
number 7.
Number 7.
Aspen Papa Q-Man.
Coleman. Sorry, Coleman. I think that a lot of it could be. Well, no, I don't think
I
it's.
think we're all really competitive, but
I think the thing is he took his guys,
Nico.
which I've finally learned to stop doing as much. Taking your guys all the time can bite you, but I think you're taking Justin Jefferson there. He's the best talented wide receiver, right? But you don't know. He's an unknown with what's going to happen with the team.
I
with
would
that
have
quarterback.
only rather had Amon-Ra.
Okay, I agree. I would rather have Amon-Ra. Maybe you're right. Maybe only Amon-Ra.
But I think he wanted
Gibbs.
I think
Okay.
he wanted Gibbs.
So that's another
why
one
they
though.
didn't
So
That's,
he didn't go get
that's
Amon-Ra.
another one though. That's like just because I think the team still lists. Okay, they do list him as one, but touchdown
right?
work and all that for Montgomery.
No, it's like sleeper. I didn't know. They
Oh,
had
I
it
didn't
on
know
there. Is that a
sleeper did that
thing?
either.
Yeah.
You got the Adams thing where he's aging out.
I will say
Now
you got him
could
at a
still
good
be
value,
amazing.
though,
Yeah,
Adams, there.
all these players could be amazing, but there's the scare. Like, so I'm kind of scared of Jefferson. I'm kind of scared of Gibbs. I'm kind of scared of Adams. I'm definitely scared of Collins because I don't know who the heck the one's going to be. I know that he made a big deal about Diggs being named the captain. But I don't. He's still Collins is still listed as the one. You got Zay Flowers, who never really produces, but he always. I know Coleman's always been a fan of him. Najee is the most hated fantasy player ever, right?
But there's value there.
But I think after their now none of these are bad. They're just scary. But I think after Stroud at least, that's a quarterback, so whatever. I don't know if he reached for that or not. But after there, I love the value he got out of these picks.
I think you're right. I think his picks are fine. They're just scary, and I think that reflects his ranking of 7.
I agree. I think
There's just a lot of scary picks and a lot of unknowns.
I think you're gambling a little bit. Logan, I'm
gambling,
still
but
waiting
that's
on
fantasy.
those wide receivers, but
is he gambling? Like, we don't like Najee, but he gets over 10 points.
well,
Devontae
Najee's
Adams
a good pick.
has
there.
produced year in year, no matter who his quarterback is, and it's going to be better than it was last year. Jameer Gibbs' role is only going to go higher. Justin Jefferson. I wish you luck, Coleman, with dealing with it, but I think Nico's the only one I don't love just because of the price. I think he was going to take Ayuk had he fallen.
For
to him.
sure. I think there's definitely question marks with Adams and Zay Flowers, and I think there's still a question mark with Gibbs with the amount of goal line touches and the whole 9. But I mean, we saw at the end of the year, Jameer Gibbs has that elite upside, hence him being picked in the 2nd round. I just think it's scary, but at the same time, he's got studs on his team that probably will outweigh how scary the picks are. It's probably what it'll be at the end of the day, and then he'll have a great draft again like he usually does. And
I really
maybe
like
make
his,
a couple trades.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't trade the great ones he didn't expect.
well,
but-
last year, so just to test like my levels, I went back and watched like the start of a pod from last year, just in a random spot. And
How'd
the
that
thing
go?
that we brought up was Coleman. Last year, he had the 2nd most points for, and he had the most points possible.
Yep.
So his team was deep as crap.
Yeah, he kills it with
and
drafts,
he was
honestly.
getting unlucky with points against, and he was getting unlucky with who he started every week. So, I mean, he drafted really well last year. I don't think he made playoffs, but he drafted really well last year. So, who's to say he didn't draft really well again?
I really like
Well, exactly.
Stevenson. You're looking this up. You got him. Oh, he responded. He's finding the correct year. He might have gave false information.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So he's talking about the Godwin, Evans.
Oh, and the third. What was the third guy's name?
I can't remember. His
Oh,
name.
I know who you're talking about.
He's talking about that year, which is way later in 13.
Yeah. What
Okay,
is that year?
that's okay then. I accept it.
I
still
will-
don't know. The third guy couldn't have been that.
I think Will, you hit a spot on with this team though. He hammered some value picks here. Dowdle is great. Curtis Samuel's great. Watson's
Stevenson,
great.
I think, is good value.
Like
I
he
think it
got a
starts
bunch
at
of value.
Stevenson.
He got a
Samuel,
bunch of value there, and I
Dowdle.
think it's going to offset his scary picks,
Yeah.
right? A gambling pick.
The
That might be where he practiced the most on the guys he wanted late, which is probably the smart thing to do. So
and he took his shots early on.
the best time to really stay water and just take the best player that's available is early rounds, and then the best time to reach for whatever
That's where
you
win
want to
drafts.
is later in the
Yep.
draft. So
Yep, I agree.
looks like he did that.
Rico,
Good job.
Rico
So
could be
honestly,
a big value.
I think values are Stevenson down to Dowdle. Honestly, I love every single one of those picks.
it was Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans.
Oh,
So I
Okay,
guess-
I almost said Vincent
I
Jackson,
was correct. on
but
Mike Evans.
but
We're
but
getting old.
no,
How about the third one?
because Godwin wasn't there yet. So I think it was just Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans. And Mike Evans wasn't in 2000. It doesn't matter. I think you're wrong on that.
He just looked it up.
Mike Evans 2012 was a stud? No, he wasn't on the team.
Yeah, he was killing it at A&M.
Yeah, he was on
When
Texas
was-
A&M.
When was
It might
Johnny
even.
Manziel.
When was Mike Evans drafted?
Well, it was 10 years ago.
Here he is.
10 years ago from today.
No, he didn't start playing until 2015 or 2014. He said 12 and 13.
Wow. Check
Logan,
your facts, Logan.
I'm
You're out.
gonna
Check
need
your
a
facts.
fact check on you from now
You're
on.
done.
We need a new
You're pretty
producer.
Yeah,
upset.
new producer.
All right,
coming in at number 6.
number 6.
Oh, did we say his value and reaches?
Yeah, we pretty much gave him
My
the
bad.
whole butt end from Stevenson down. His reach
Yeah, I
was
love that. The cap.
Justin Jefferson.
Jefferson obviously still.
Yeah.
So.
The leader of the SureFire League and podcast, William Schumann.
W dog.
W dog. That's the first.
How do you feel about your draft, Will?
I love it.
Oh,
What's your favorite pick?
Probably
Hurts.
Jacobs.
I like Jacobs too.
Wow.
That's what I was talking to Coleman
You
about it. I
really,
really like
really-
Jacobs.
you got a
When I
lot of
took
them.
him, I didn't love him
Yeah,
either.
he
You
looks
got him in a
amazing
few
now.
places.
I have him pretty
too.
much everywhere
Yeah.
now. When I took him, I was like, I took him. People were like giving me a hard time. I was like, "What's wrong with
I
it?"
think-
And I looked, and then more and more good news kept coming out. Good news for me that all their other guys are getting hurt. He
Yeah.
already has proven he can be a workhorse back, and we know running backs for Green Bay can be good.
So
They're looking
here's
like
how
a
I feel
good
about
team.
your draft. I think you absolutely killed the first 3 picks.
So here's,
And
I
then-
agree. My
yeah.
first 3 picks are where
And
I
then
love it.
from Hurts to Allen is a little iffy, and
So-
then I like Pollard, Chubb, Elliott because you're probably gonna get an RB2 out of that.
So can I tell you what I did? And this is flattery for you. What I did. Every year I always take reaches, and I take guys that are like maybe they're gonna be good, maybe they're not. They're not proven talent. What I did after just the first 3 or 4 rounds, I just took big name guys. No
That's
matter
what you do, man.
Because I've told myself for the last 2 years, and this year I finally followed it.
I like it.
I'm just gonna take big name proven guys, no matter how much you think they're washed up, whatever. Every year you think someone's washed
Yeah,
up, and
I
they're
like
not.
it. Hey,
So I took a bunch
I
of
like that
names that I
about
knew
you.
that were big name, and that was kind of my goal through. Now I regret taking Keenan out.
I will say when you put it in that context,
Right.
man, you really did with
They're
the digs,
they're huge names.
hold on, from
Hawkinson,
from
even
digs
Gabe.
to Hawkins, yeah,
Even Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
I didn't
you
take any
you
stretches.
took that
Even
to
Goddard.
heart. You took it to heart.
Yeah,
you
well,
said
they
you
did
said
it.
Hurts.
I mean, we're talking about
I'm
guys that were
done.
drafted in the first round. Almost
Oh
every single one
my
of these guys have been
gosh.
drafted in the first round,
That's
other
fair.
than Hawkinson
That's
or
fair.
and Davis.
Well,
what's
yeah.
your biggest regret of the draft? Keenan?
Keenan.
We've heard. I think
The same reason that I was talking about Odunze. I don't. That team can't sustain 3, and I'm worried that Keenan will be one of the ones that doesn't get
I
sustained.
just think he's a safe. Like that's always been his thing,
don't-
but it's been on such a different offense.
But
They-
he's old too. Like he is old.
So-
Keenan Allen's 32. Yeah, he's 32.
The
He's gonna be
feedback,
33.
the feedback we got from the league was a steal for you was CD. Where you got him?
Obviously.
Garrett Wilson.
That's a true one. I mean,
I love
I get
Garrett
a lot of
Wilson
back
where
and
you
forth.
got him. I
People
really do.
love or hate Garrett Wilson.
I
but-
love Garrett Wilson.
Hey, here's a sleeper. I really think, you know how last year everyone was so hyped on the Jets, and this year everyone's kind of mid on him because he's older and had the. I think we're about to see like the Manning year where he came back after his injury. I think the Jets are going to be legitimately really fucking good.
nasty.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to just fall off. He doesn't have to do any moving. He just stands there and throws the ball.
He looks good.
I have a good feeling about that one.
I was shocked you took him though because he did you wrong last year.
I was too.
I really didn't think you were going to
He
take
did me
him.
wrong compared to what he could have been,
Yeah.
but he played okay.
Yeah.
The pick that surprised me most was Hurts. I did not think.
I don't love her. At
And
the
I think
time,
that's probably your reach of the draft.
at the time, it was one of those things where I was playing the draft around me again, and I didn't reach. I should have reached for other things.
Where's the third
But he was
one?
like up there.
That's
and-
probably where he goes. But
Did you
That is where he goes.
Did you
He
also
was
not
high on the
like
board.
the other people? I mean,
I didn't love the other
outspokenly-
ones that were on
yeah.
the top, but I didn't go lower down,
Right.
which was kind of like my goal. I didn't want to reach.
You
This
wanted
year.
Laporta too, didn't you?
I really, really wanted Laporta. That's who I wanted the most.
Yeah.
Like I wanted him really bad, but you had to fuck me on that one because you made a trade.
Yeah.
I am high on Swift. I think a lot of people aren't. I think that team
that's what
has
I
to
wanted
run
to
the ball a
hear
little
you.
bit because I mean he did. He went to the Eagles and did great.
Yeah, their line's
So
bad.
why
though,
are-
I
yeah, but-
heard.
Like the team is gonna have times where they got to run the football, and Swift will be the number one guy, and you get him at round 6.
Is this your highest preseason ranking, Kevin wants to know?
No, last year I was like 1 or 2, and I came in last.
Oh yeah, fuck.
They get,
You had Chubb and Garrett Wilson go down like week 1.
Yeah.
I had Chubb go down week 1,
Brutal,
Garrett
brutal.
Wilson
He did
out,
take
and I had
that.
somebody else go out.
But you got the nasty stack with Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goddard.
I do. I got the nasty
That's
stack.
gonna be deadly.
Deadly.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's my
It's no
squad.
wonder I liked your team. You did go face value a lot.
I went
I
face
liked
value.
it.
I thought you liked my team even more than you actually ranked it. to
I
be
will
honest.
say it's a very interesting team because this kind of shows like where we get talking about like the tiers because now like I'm thinking of like Coleman's team or some of the other teams we talked about because when I really put it in perspective, I don't like those darts you took as much when I think about seeing them in your starting lineup, but they're going to produce.
So I don't even start Pollard right now.
Okay.
One thing I will say that I really regret doing, if we're talking about regrets, I regret taking Elliott where I did when I could have taken Jerome Ford. I don't know why I didn't take Jerome Ford.
Yeah, you could have the Browns back.
Yeah, which I did in all my other one of my other leagues. I took both, which makes so much sense, and I don't know why.
That's probably smarter
I did
because that's
that.
a guarantee. Whereas
Right, so I'm hoping this is
yeah.
more of a high upside, low
Right.
downside, or really bad downside
Yeah.
potential. But
All right, moving on to number 5, halfway through.
oh, and I will say, before some people made some changes to their rankings, I was 4th and I dropped to 6th today. So that's all. That's how close everything is. Everyone is so close that just a couple people changed their rankings today, and I changed 2 spots. So everyone is right
Coleman
there.
said taking Pollard period is a mistake.
Yeah, I've heard about this other guy there who's number
Spears,
1.
I disagree. Where did Spears get drafted?
A lot later than that. Round 12.
There he
to
is.
Mike.
Yeah, around 12.
Ooh, big fan.
Pollard hurt me last.
Pollard or me and
Oh,
Mike.
Did you know last year, his first week, he was running back 5?
I don't want to talk about it. You hurt me so
Yeah.
bad.
All right, moving on to team number 5.
Coming in at number 5, the man of faith,
Logan.
Logan.
Chase ain't playing, I'm telling you. Pray all you want, he ain't playing.
So Logan did the opposite of Jordan. What Logan did was trade for first round value.
And usually this is where you're like, oh my gosh, this team is so scary. But he has the biggest asterisk right now with Jamar Chase.
Okay, what I will say about Logan's team, so we don't give out too much information about like how many people ranked you where or how close you were. But Logan was all over the place in rankings. I think he got 2 number 1 rankings, or at least 1, and a couple really high ones and a couple really low ones. He got a 2 and a 1.
He's very polarizing.
So, but he also got an 8. So Logan's team was ranked everywhere.
You either like it or you don't.
I have him ranked, I think, pretty high, but I can't remember where.
Where
But
did I rank him?
I love this team. Other than this one guy, I hate.
You don't
this
like
guy.
London?
I hate this.
He
guy.
got him technically at a value.
I know, but I hate this guy.
Why?
I just don't. He's like a Olave to me. It's like every year he's supposed to do something, and it's like maybe he will, but
It's like Kyle Pitts.
he doesn't.
They're on the same
He doesn't
team.
show unworldly talent as like an athlete. So I just reminds me of like a Pittman.
His team's very obviously top heavy. I mean, he doesn't have as much depth, but obviously he has the superstar.
Well, I like the way he
Reese
drafted
and
late. I like that
Yeah,
he got Moss
drafting Zach
and Brown,
Moss.
so he
Yep.
got no matter what the one there.
Well, he
You
went
don't know which one
hero.
it
What do
would
they
be.
call it? Like hero RB.
Hero RB.
He went strong, and then he
Yeah.
went straight value.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So he took.
And then he got no matter what a 1 right there.
Which
One of those
he-
guys will be the 1.
He was not happy about that. He says he doesn't do that. I remember him saying that.
I
during
like
the
that.
draft,
If he
but-
went hero RB, that's something you kind of have to do.
Yeah.
I like doing that.
Kevin
Is it-
said I should have dropped Logan more now that I'm looking at the big screen.
at the big screen.
Yeah, what's the big screen? For us, it's a very small screen, by the way. I'm struggling to see it.
I like it. I love Devontae Smith. He's one of my guys. I like Brees Hall. Chase, even if he doesn't play this week,
Yeah.
Who cares, honestly?
He
I
will
agree.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's gonna
It's-
play.
He's not. He won't hold out all season. So
The question mark is like, does he have enough depth? And I think his flexes are gonna
Hollywood's
be a little
scary.
tough at some
and
points.
then
But
obviously, so the Zach Moss Brown thing does hurt his depth a little bit.
but I think that
And-
helps him so much. So he solidified the RB2.
I will say, whoever plays him early on has a lot of value because he has Hollywood Brown, Brooks, and he has to figure out the muddle backfield Cincinnati, and then whatever comes about with
Yeah,
Chase.
Isn't Brooks?
That's 100%
Yeah,
right.
he's
This is a
out.
later.
He's
This
out.
is a later on team.
So
this
yeah,
isn't a
it
now
is
team.
because
This
you
is
also
a
got
later
the,
on
yeah.
team.
So you got the
You
Chase
wouldn't get
thing.
him now.
So this, I mean, week 1 will be his worst because you really don't know about Chase, and even if he does play, he won't know the game plan very well.
It's kinda-
he doesn't know whether it'll be Moss or Brown this week. So this week will be his hardest week probably.
I feel like Kevin here. Like I ranked Logan accordingly, but like it's weird. Every time we talk about a new team, I'm thinking, was the team that we just talked about at rank 7 or 8 were they meant to be here? But I think that just shows all of us had a slightly different opinion, and some people value those higher guys, or maybe they're high on a Drake
This is
London.
the opposite of the
I
Jordan.
love
team.
seeing the different approaches to draft too.
And
like
this-
he had hero RB.
After week 1, is the biggest change every year in terms of how we rank teams. I mean,
It'll be that big.
everything
Down
will
6,
completely
up.
shift.
Logan said depth. You're talking to the waiver wire king.
Oh,
True,
he
true,
did,
true.
Mr.
True, true,
Laporta.
true. So,
But
hey, it's
is
coming.
Hey,
there
Dan, what's up?
is there going to be another Puka? That's the question.
Yeah, that's the thing. Who did he scroll down a little bit? Up there, Brandon Cooks.
So
I didn't see that.
I don't feel this is a team that we can really say.
Who's Brand?
He's
It's not a
reach.
week 1 team.
Well, but you can't also. Can we really say that he did a reach or a steal on anyone because
I think
he had to draft where he had to?
I think Zach Moss, it could be a steal. He's the one I think, in my mind, considering he got him at the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7,
Ninth.
8th. He got him as 8th pick.
My steal
Ninth
is
round.
Drake London,
Ninth round.
where he got him.
Where he got him.
I think that's a
So
steal.
do you think he finishes
Brad's
with
team.
Garrett Wilson?
We haven't gotten to Brad's yet, Dan.
I think he finishes right behind Garrett. I think he'll be probably top 10. He'll be late top 10. Like
He'll be in that turn, that 1-2
12
turn.
is where I think he's gonna be a low end wide receiver.
I think
Okay.
he'll be a low
That's
end
my-
wide receiver too.
Wide receiver too. Oh my
Wow,
god.
low end, so pushing the.
We have a lot of
Whoa.
faith in the guy who tore his Achilles not too late into the season last
So
year
do
on
you.
a team that's bad.
I
do
don't.
you with
fi-
Garrett Wilson?
I don't.
Right, Garrett Wilson is an unworthy talent, and he got injured a lot earlier. And we're talking
there-
about
Well, I do think
we're
Garrett.
talking
Uh-oh.
about one of the best quarterbacks of
Yeah.
all time.
Garrett Wilson will outscore him. I
Yeah,
believe that.
that's
as well.
that's strong.
Garrett-
I think he's a low end wide receiver.
But what I'm saying
one.
is Wilson, talent-wise, everyone would agree, is more talented than London. His quarterback is more talented than London. And his quarterback got injured way earlier than his quarterback.
That's fair.
And his team is better.
I agree
There's
with you.
so
I mean,
many variables
I agree
to
with you.
where
You're just
Wilson
going,
is so much better.
I just feel like it's one of these where you're going all in on like the slander that there's a line because
Let's see, what
I
did I
agree
say?
with you.
I just know that Wilson...
Ingram is a steal. Don't lie. I actually think Ingram was a reach, personally, but that's just me.
He did really good last year. He got
I
a
know,
shit
I
ton of
know.
targets, right?
I mean, he
I think he could have waited a couple rounds.
he could have waited, but
but
he
he got
had to
his
get his
guy.
guy because of what he did. Because Pitts and Kittle went, and then he took Ingram.
Pitts hurt.
But when you see, but when you see him right there next to those guys, it
Obviously,
doesn't seem
Hollywood
like a
Brown.
value.
Hollywood Brown is going to miss at least a game or two.
I think that is a really good value you got him there.
Hollywood Brown.
I think it
love
would have
that
been
guy.
more value if he... I think he's going to be injured for a little bit.
But he'll come back, and that's where I feel the best.
It's just wide receivers for Kansas City, even when they don't have a tight end, they're not usually super valuable. And I think Hollywood Brown has a scary chance to be the 3.
Dan's saying the best steals in the first round are AJ Brown and Garrett Wilson, and neither one of them went in our first round.
I would agree.
That's wild.
That is a good value.
All right, let's move on.
Logan is a very fun team. We'll
He's
see.
a future. I think in a month
He's,
he'll be
he's
high in our
playing for the
rankings.
future.
In a
The
month.
opposite of 2 years ago when he started the year off like 9
10-0 or something
Yeah.
crazy.
Gosh, wow.
That was a
Yeah.
wild year.
All
I
right,
bet he's
coming
up
in
late
at
at
number
night.
4, Robin. Man traded for the first overall pick.
CMC, bro.
No trades there.
Had a lot of nerves with CMC.
So he just swapped picks.
Yeah,
Yep.
me and him swapped.
Just did a clean swap. Did that trade happen
It
day
happened.
before?
Robin's
weeks
another
before?
one that... So Robin moved up a
Day
lot.
after the
It was
announcement.
like a month.
So Robin
We
moved
were
up...
sitting on that one for a while.
Robin was pretty low on boards for a while. I think at one point he was 6th. And then towards the end, when people took more time, like
Ingram,
when we redid rankings, people started looking at his team more, and he went. I mean, everyone started bumping him up. Like he got a couple first overall votes. And
Well, I think the news.
Well,
is
I want to
CMC
talk
too.
to Dan. Said Ingram isn't a reach based on picks. He's foregone. Like getting his tight end instead of picking up Singletary or taking a shot on the Packers offense. That's true, but everyone around him had picked a tight end already, so he could have waited at least a couple more picks. But I mean, that's neither here nor there.
But Ferguson did go in the next
I
round.
just feel,
he also could have gotten Kittle.
Yeah,
No.
Well, no.
Yes.
No.
That was right
I think he
after.
could have
It's
waited.
going that way.
No, it's going
Yeah,
this
so
way.
Kittle, then Ingram.
Oh, he could have.
No, Kittle went to was the first. It's the turn.
His arrow. Oh, that arrow's. I'm looking at that arrow. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I see.
I mean, it's not a major.
Yeah.
It's just probably where it went. That's a moot point. Sorry. Go ahead.
Another hero RB, something you would expect with a CMC, but I mean, Josh Allen's going to be great, but what does his team look like? I mean, we talk about this, but what does his team look like if that's not Josh Allen? And then he did receive a few votes for Cooper Kupp being a reach, but I know Robin stands on the you got to get your guy. If he's not coming back to you, you got to get your guy.
I think he personally regrets picking Allen there. I mean, do you know? If he does?
No. I think he's a big Allen fan. I think he's had him.
I mean, I think he is. I love the Allen Kincaid stack, actually. I really do like
Well,
I like
that.
that stack.
I haven't noticed the stacks that are like out there.
There's been a lot of tight end stacks
Yeah.
going on.
So I'll say his steal is Javonte Williams. Am I? You got the running back one there.
Yeah, I think
You got him
Montgomery's
so
decent.
late. Yeah, Montgomery too, but Montgomery is the running back 2. Williams is the running back 1. And he's been so hyped. This is the first year where he's finally not hyped. And it's the first year where I feel like maybe he could actually be something. So I feel like that one is kind of sneaky.
I like Deontay Johnson. I mean, it's not flashy.
Yeah, maybe they have to force the ball to somebody.
But someone, I mean, if they're gonna, if that QB is gonna be anything, that's who they're gonna lean on. I mean, Adam Thielen played really well, so I feel like Deontay Johnson could take that role. I do feel Kincaid is a value too, but I'm tired of talking about tight ends.
Man, I love Kincaid.
So,
I love Kincaid
I
too.
love Kincaid.
All right, I'm tired of talking about tight
wanted him
ends.
so bad, but
I wish I would have. I wish I would have gotten sugar on Kincaid.
It might
and
be
not
one of
Keenan.
my.
Because he was already great.
Yeah,
he was
he's gonna be
young,
amazing.
and now how many targets just opened up? Like I was gonna say 1,000, but like
maybe I should
1,000
take him
yards.
over.
But so the value there is just unreal. But it's a very interesting team.
Yeah, it's tough to analyze because I love Cup, but other people feel that was a reach. We got a couple of submissions about that being a reach. When I was like mocking and stuff, that's who I was going to take in that position because
So you were as well there.
I was going to take Cup. I was going to do what Robin did. I wasn't going to take Allen, but I was going to take Cup and someone. So it was going to be Etienne.
Yeah.
Etienne, which would have been nice.
I wish I would have stayed.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring it back on Kincaid, but I think he might be the wide receiver 1 on this.
Yeah,
Well, he is.
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
And you get
it's
him at a
definitely-
tight end position, and
it's
you get him that
definitely-
late. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know why I slept on him.
It's definitely his
every
value
draft.
pick. It's definitely his value pick, right? And then his reach.
I think you're looking at probably. I think you got value from Kincaid down to Deontay,
That's
pretty
fair to
good.
say. That's fair to say. Sutton might be
And
a
you
value.
might he's
honestly.
a wide receiver 1.
Yeah,
The
Sutton
problem
might-
is you got. You got 2 Denver guys, which might not be a good. But who knows?
So my question is, I really thought QBs were gonna be like lottery too. Like everyone was gonna have to go get a QB because we saw last year QBs were outliers. So Robin goes early with a QB, and then it kind of goes quiet for a while, and then we get the huge values like in round 7.
Yeah, I think Robin was surprised by that too. I did anticipate.
What is your guys'? Because I really thought this year was going to be the year of QBs. Like I didn't think anyone was going to feel happy with the Jordan Love type of pick.
I thought that this year was going to be the year of QBs. They didn't go as early as I thought they were going to.
I thought
So,
that would be the
looking
big
back,
three.
if I'm Robin and I took Allen and it took that long for like Hurts to go off the board or like Richardson, then I'm kind of bummed that I took.
But I mean, looking at it from here though, he wouldn't have gotten any of the 3. He had to go get Allen right there if he wanted an elite QB.
The issue of the turn.
No,
but
he
he's,
could have had
No.
Lamar Jackson.
No,
No, well, right. You're getting your turns
Yeah.
mixed up again.
Okay, he could have had Oh, wow.
Yeah, he would have missed it. So if you
But
wanted to
he-
lead,
But he started it, so that's always the interesting.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is true.
interesting
He did
philosophy
start
of
it.
what could have happened.
because he would have gotten the
But
fourth
still, he
guy.
could.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have had Richardson.
He would have gotten the 4 because he's one of the 4 that picked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He would have got Lamar, Hurts, or Mahomes.
You're right. Yeah, he would have gotten one.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
would've
because
gotten
because
one, yeah.
Allen would have gotten
just someone
picked
else
here.
would have gotten that.
Right.
one.
This would have
Yeah.
been Allen.
So if you throw Lamar Jackson instead of DJ Moore and then throw ETN on the team, do we feel that that's a better team?
I personally do, but I'm Big E too. So I can't.
I think we did, Coleman. I think last year and the year before we did take QB that early. I think that we got weird on, and I
Well,
think
I think
what
round
happened
3
was
is the
people
sweet
got
spot.
too accustomed to the wait on QB thing, and then people started wising up to that and taking like the best QB later.
Well, I think it's.
And then it actually was huge for that team.
I
So
think
now
it's
it's
a-
going the other way.
I think it's a combo. I don't know that we've actually taken them early. I think Jordan has started shocking the world and taking
You're
QBs
shocking
earlier.
the world in general.
But
Nobody does no QB anymore. Nobody does
No.
like wait till like the hardly anybody. Like it used to be at least half the league would wait till the very end to take a
But come week 4, week 5, all we talk about is they have a top 5 QB. Like,
Yeah.
they're projected 22 points. Your team sucks. You don't have a QB. We do this every year now. So it's like, if you don't have one of those top 5 guys, you almost feel like you're not in contention. I feel like is what has happened. And that's why I thought there was going to be a
The teams that
big
reach are usually
rush.
guys on the turn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
you're
sure.
right.
And he had it. If he wanted Allen, he had to take him there. I mean, that's what it comes. Same with Cup.
I mean, he's got so much upside on this team, or at least for his early picks. Up from here up, the upside is crazy.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of scariness, but the upside is crazy. And then from here down, it's kind of the hope, and he's kind of got both those things.
He has some
wrong.
safe hope, too. He has the kind of the people...
Yeah, like Sutton's safe hope. You
Sutton.
know he won't be
He's gonna
terrible.
get like
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Same with Deontay. He'll probably and Javonte. These
He's
guys
a
are all
big-
like they'll be okay.
He's a big
Yep.
Javonte Williams guy. He always has.
Yeah, he
Javonte.
always has him.
It's
Yeah.
weird how people always pick the same people.
get their people.
They always get their
So,
guys.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. What was that? 4 or 5?
4.
Moving
So
on
we're
to
down to
number
the
3.
top 3.
We still got 2 podcasters in here.
Oh, coming in, and one of the podcasters in at number 3 is myself.
So I just want to say a funny story about Zach and somebody else in the rankings. They were so I told you guys that there was a lot of extra rankings that came in today. He and the person who ended up second flipped like 4 times today because there's like a 0.1 difference. So Zach went from second, third, finished third.
Then there was a late surge by someone else, right? That
Yeah,
almost
there
came in.
was. Yeah, there was.
It was an exciting day. You guys kept us on our toes. So
But Zach ended up third. Zach went running back or wide receiver. I like your team. I think I
Yeah.
have you at 1. I like your team so much.
Obviously, the Hill pick's amazing.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison, are you?
That's the one
Are
I'm
you
like-
comfortable with that, or how do
no,
you
but
feel?
I didn't want Puka.
That's the one I'm like.
I didn't want Samuel. And I knew I was gonna get a running back.
Yeah, if you could have
on
Garrett
the turn.
Wilson there,
That
which you
would've been
couldn't have,
so-
but if you could have
yeah.
Garrett
I
Wilson,
genuinely did not think this guy was taking Garrett Wilson, so I was kind
Yeah.
of getting super happy. But Marvin Harrison is who I wanted after those other guys. Honestly, who I thought was going to be there was Kyron Williams,
see, so
and I was going to
Yeah.
trade. I was going to trade Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin
that's
says
fine.
AR is a bust. I'm not saying. First off, I don't think he will be in the NFL. I think he's going to be good. But in fantasy, he can't be a bust. It just won't happen.
Injury.
He will unless he gets
it's-
hurt. That's
Yeah.
it. But if he plays, Richardson is the least busty player for fantasy because he will run. I mean, that's basically what he does. Pacheco, he's
You
like my
love
favorite.
Pacheco, yeah.
I liked him last year,
You
but
love
last year,
Pacheco.
McKinnon stole so much of his passing work, and this year they're saying Pacheco's the one getting that, and he's the
Well,
main
there's
running back.
Samaje.
And
Samaje.
no, the only
Yeah,
reason
I
that
don't
happened
think
is
so
the only reason they picked up Samaje is because which the news came out yesterday, I think, that
Yeah.
Clyde is having like mental health issues.
Yeah.
So Clyde is also like a problem. So Pacheco might become like, and we remember what Kareem Hunt did on that
probably
team.
top 10 running back.
I mean, he might be insane. You get him in the 3rd round.
Joe Mixon. Everyone hates Joe Mixon.
I don't hate
but
him.
I
wanted-
think he's going to be
I
good.
wanted-
Here's the thing:
but
they
I'm
have too many
big.
wide receivers, right? That's our problem. But the running back, there's only one
There's
running
only
back.
one. Yeah.
I know. I'm a
He's
big.
got
it.
I'm
Always-
I'm in the Mixon camp.
He's
hard,
always on
but-
a high powered offense. So
Richie Rice.
You have to feel good.
if he doesn't get suspended, is going to be.
I feel that I heard that's a pretty much a guarantee now, but I reached on that.
You did. I
The
checked
draft went
He usually goes in the 8th.
crazy, yeah.
and you got him in the 6th.
Because I
was
didn't-
pissed. You
I
got.
think
I
Jordan's
didn't
gonna
want
take him.
Keenan. I didn't want Pickens.
It was a really good
I went
reach.
for him.
Well,
but-
that's where he would go even probably earlier than that if
Yeah.
at the time the looming suspension
Yeah.
wasn't a thing.
Laporta is a great value.
You have a quarterback that probably, if he plays every game, will be a QB top 7 or 8 in terms of points fantasy.
But
Uh,
I just really like.
I love
particularly.
McConkey.
Pierce is
McConkey
still
is
there.
probably going to be the number 1 wide receiver on that team, him or Palmer. But I mean,
Yeah, that
he'll
was
be
one I just kind of
important
went with the board. I didn't really have much feeling on that, but clear Shakir to the moon.
Yeah, I like that pick too. I mean, he could be the wide receiver 1. Chuba. Who knows how long?
RB1. Come hit me up, Logan.
Yep, this is. I don't love Harrison, but
I think
agree.
Harrison's
You
the only
didn't have a whole
questionable
lot.
pick out
You
of
didn't
the
have a whole lot
out
of other
bunch,
options
honestly.
there. Like you said, if you could have if you had Garrett Wilson there, which I'm glad you don't, because but if you had Garrett Wilson there,
Yeah,
this
that's
would
easily
be
one.
so easily my favorite team.
Yeah,
I mean, it
easily.
was, I think, my favorite anyway. It's
I
not
think
mine.
when I look at my team, it's hard for me to always value the tight end. So when I see like
Laporta's
Reed
nice,
in
yeah.
my flex 2, I feel like I'm a step behind some of the other teams.
Yes,
But
Kevin,
I have to
did know
remember
that.
Laporta.
What?
that
17
Richardson only
games.
started 17 games since high school. Did you also know that in the 3.5 games that Richardson played last year in fantasy,
That's a sad.
he scored
stat.
like an average of like 23 points? Like he's played before that, he had played 14 games since high school, and he still averages that many points. So I don't care what he is in the NFL, even though I think he will be good. He's going to get points in fantasy.
I'm surprised you didn't pick Cup. I actually really thought you might take him in the second round.
That's just scary because of Nakua.
Well, Cup has ruined my my team for 2 years in a row.
That's true. But you're a Cup guy.
But I wanted the value of him, and that's why that's probably partially why I'm like, why was he taken there?
Because you wanted him.
Yeah,
I
because
got
I
you.
felt like I could have taken him. So.
Okay, so conventionally, what I would say your steal is Pacheco. But what I want to do, a little fun
His
little
steal
trick here,
is easily Laporta.
I don't think it's a steal because I was going to take him next pick. I think he was like
but-
top of the board.
well, where
But he was
went.
supposed to go.
He was top of the board.
I
I'm
think
pretty
he
sure.
was supposed to go third. I think. I didn't do a
I
lot.
he
feel
was- I'm
Laporta
pretty
was
sure
his
you-
steal.
I'm pretty sure he was around
Where
there.
he
But
got-
anyways,
Especially 2 rounds after the first item was taken.
for me, it would be because I know I was going to take Laporta, so I wouldn't work
Doesn't
that way
feel.
for me.
Okay.
But Pacheco, in my opinion, is a steal.
I feel like that's where he
But
goes.
that's my conventional way.
Okay.
But what I want to say is your steal and your reach at the same player.
Is Rice.
Yes,
That's
I think
unique.
you reach to get Rice, and he's going to be a steal because he should be drafted way higher.
Wow.
Yeah, as of now. Well, on the same team.
That's the host in me right there. That's
you
great
like that?
genius stuff.
What?
Do you like having them on the same team?
I'm not big on a running back wide receiver, but if there's one team, you can take it. I feel like
Yeah,
there's
I
probably
agree.
there's probably
Chiefs
3
are good.
teams out there you're willing to do that with, and the Chiefs are
I don't mind
got a
running
good
back and
team.
wide receiver.
You have a really good team.
pretty excited. Reed, I don't know how because that team has 4 wide receivers, so
Yeah, no, I have no opinion
Reed's,
on Reed.
you're going to be...
Yeah.
I have no
you're gonna
opinion on
be-
Reed. I have no opinion on Warren. I like McConkey.
I like Warren, but your flex
I
2 is always
kinda
being
like
questioned.
covered.
yeah,
No opinion on
it'll be a
Reed.
rotation.
Your flex 2
so.
will always be in question.
All right, let's move on to team number 2.
Team number 2.
It's either Mike or it's a Love It.
It's a love it
Lovable.
top.
We know it's a Love It.
Yeah. Brad is coming in at number 1.
Which means
Brad,
number 2
dog.
is Mike.
I'm on the right.
I can't see.
They
Alright.
drafted right by each other.
That's
Wrong
Brad.
love. Wrong love.
That's Brad.
Unless we're just
Wrong
skipping
love.
over number 2 and going
I
right
saw
to
it. I
love.
just saw Love. All right, there he is.
Talk about go and get your guy.
Yeah, I definitely.
He
want
said, I don't want CMC, but
I
I'm going to go get
Saquon.
Saquon.
Where did
so-
I rank Mike's team? Pull it up for me.
Third, nice.
It's just weird because no, I like your team. Oh, actually, I really like your team
You like it from Mike.
on the lower end.
Yeah.
I love your lower end, and I like your upper end. So when you see it without seeing the draft board, you love it. But I do think that you get like these first 3 guys are like scary, risky type of picks. Well, Evans is maybe not risky, but
I feel like that extends a little
the
further.
Waddle definitely.
I mean, I don't feel, but I feel like if you're talking about scary risky, it goes.
Yeah,
Waddle's
so,
definitely
yeah.
the
well, then
first.
you got Waddle and Higgins, so 2 wide receiver 2s on their team.
How about someone who's been invested in the Chase saga? I didn't realize how much you're loving the idea of Jamar Chase staying out all year.
But
I feel like my team's bored.
It's a Mike team.
Sorry, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I feel like my
I was
team's
gonna say the
boring.
same thing. I think you have a boring team. I think it's good.
It's good,
People
but
are
it's just
recognizing
really
that,
boring.
But it is. There's
My
no,
most exciting players are Saquon and Waddle.
They're all just like proven
Boring.
good, good
Yeah.
enough guys.
Yeah, it's just a boring team.
That's really
honestly.
funny.
I've
Mark
thought about that for a
Andrews,
while.
huge value though.
I
but
think Christian Kirk is a huge value.
what made
And
you
Ridley.
go Andrews ahead of Kincaid?
I don't know. Honestly,
All right,
really-
Mike is done for the year.
I really wanted Kincaid.
I think he should have taken King.
How many beers did you
I
have?
was very on the well.
You just
I-
got done beating us in golf. You were living life on a high.
I
You're
didn't know.
like,
I didn't
fuck
know
it,
what I
Mark
was
Andrews.
gonna do. I didn't think Andrews was gonna be there.
Mike
I was
Andrews
thinking
beat you in a
Kincaid.
bet the year before. You're like, I gotta take him.
I honestly kind of wish I took Kincaid.
Kevin
You
said,
should offer a trade.
Kevin said Mike's team is like the 4:00 games. That's a perfect.
Amen. We get shit done though.
Yeah, there's a guaranteed 3 of them this year. How exciting!
Yeah, thank God there's not. Even,
It should just
even
be
then,
split though.
It should be. It should be split or a guaranteed 4 because
Yeah,
3 is still not enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, 3
there
is
should
not.
never be a commercial on. That's the
Oh
key.
my God, I can't stand the
That's
4
Your
games. They
your team
ruin
is
it.
really hard to break down. I'd say
I don't know how to feel about it.
I know that's
personally.
where Jonathan Taylor's supposed to go, but do we feel that there is a dip if AR is healthy? Does that make JT better?
I don't know.
Or is he getting the like Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton?
I think it either stays the same or it slightly goes worse.
But
It
not-
can't be
Oh,
better
really?
because Richardson takes touchdowns.
I mean, this is his first year. He's like really gonna play a full season in like 2 years.
Since his rookie year,
Richardson
pretty
played,
much.
And
like,
he
4
was
games and got
the
4 touchdowns.
RB1
The
coming
last
in
time.
the drafts when
Yeah.
he played a full year. So
I just
that's
think-
why I took him.
He
Took
was
my
the 4th
shot.
running back off the board.
He better not wear that ugly ass helmet.
Yeah, I hope not. Then I'm gonna.
Otherwise,
drop
you
him.
gotta trade him.
I'm dropping.
I won't have him on my team with that shit.
It's hard because I
a
do
weird
like your
game.
team, but when you put it in the perspective that you did, it's really hard to sit here and talk about it. But as a whole, like, I love your team. I feel that when you put your starting lineup against some other people's, you don't really have that miss, and I think that comes with the value of a Dak Prescott. So you're kind of in this similar stage of Kevin, where you got someone who, oh my gosh, you got Dak. Well, wasn't Dak also a top 5?
Yeah, him and Love are probably very similar.
Yeah, but when you're thinking of what quarterback you're going to want to pick for your fantasy year, they're not the people you're thinking about.
Yeah, I'm
so.
surprised I'm second. To be honest, I was very surprised to see me second. But
Love.
I appreciate the love.
Coleman, you are not hated in the league.
Kevin, or not.
Coleman is not hated in the league. Kevin is hated in the league. Coleman
Kevin
is not hated in the league.
is, he is.
I'm just so confused. When did Lovett's drafted between Dalt and Q? I see.
Oh.
they're slamming
We made a
him
good
down
point,
now.
though, Coleman, as to why your team we think is rated lower, and it's just because of the scariness of it. But like we also said, you drafted really well last year, and it's had unfortunate circumstances that happened. And also, you passed the tier of where it was like you were in the tier of where you could have been. What was he, like 7th? You could have been 4th. Like you were in that like small
he's in that
range.
That's okay. Robin and I drafted between Jordan and Kevin, so we got the real victory of it all. So
There was a
Amen.
very clear number 1, which we all know who number 1 is.
We
Who,
do know.
who is it?
So clear.
Who
In
is
fact, pull up his rankings for me really quick.
it?
Brad
1,
had
2, 3, number 1.
Brad's lowest ranking was 3. Somebody ranked him
I'm
3. That was it. One person did. Everybody else was 1 or 2 with Brad. That is our number 1 team.
I just feel he drafted from the board and did something
He went 4
That
wide
no one-
receivers star.
no one other than Kevin has really ever done, and
Oh.
he didn't reach for anyone. He just
Well,
stuck.
getting Ford was huge for his team, I think.
Yeah.
It really was.
I don't think any of
He
us
got
really
potentially
registered that.
4 really good running backs. Now,
Yeah.
potentially some, maybe not, but also potentially 4
Well,
really good
Kamara
ones.
is going to be solid.
Considering he has these really good wide
I
receivers.
mean, Kamara's a wide receiver basically as a running back.
And
He's
IU
good
is
in
now a
this
steal.
league. Good in this league. Honestly, I think I think that's where he should go.
That's how I feel.
I feel like that's where he should go.
Didn't he
And
finish as like the wide receiver like 9 last year or something? Wide receiver 10. He
I-
finishes
he-
at 10 last year.
I have a lot of bitterness. Oh, he
No.
fucked me.
He was really good last year. And then, I mean, the wide receiver 10, he went as the wide receiver
He's-
1, 2.
He's kind of a boring player.
He's very
too, though.
boring.
Like,
That's how
he's
I feel.
Very boring.
Yeah, he's not someone you like, especially on that team.
Yeah.
He is like He's fifth on that team. I'd rather see Juszczyk get the ball and be more excited.
But he got a guy who should take a step up and last year finishes the 10, should take a step up, and he got him at the wide receiver 17.
Well, it's not even
last year he finishes the 10.
It's his wide receiver 4, right? So I think it's more. He got Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, and Olave.
Yeah, that's his flex too. So imagine when you're matching up against him, and someone else is rolling out, a Tony Pollard or a Reed.
Last year, 3 of them were wide receiver 1s, and none of them should take a step down. None of them are like aging out or are on bad teams.
Oh yeah,
and then he's got Olave who should get better.
I think that's my biggest surprise of the draft. Is Amon-Ra going at 8? I never thought in a million years Amon-Ra would go at 8.
I just
really good.
You only expected him to go 7.
I thought he would honestly go 4 to 7. I thought he was going to go in that range.
Yeah. Oh, because did you think Bijan?
Yeah, I did not. I thought Bijan was going to go later, and Breece Hall was
the only two that I thought Chase and Jefferson would go.
I love Amon-Ra. I think
I would have put Amon-Ra at 6. But I don't think it was like the biggest steal.
I love him. I know
you wanted to get him there.
I think AJ Brown is a huge steal, and I think that just happened with Mike and Dalt's choices. There's their strategy that they went in with, so he got a huge value at the wide receiver there.
Well, I couldn't take him because I had Saquon.
He also
you didn't have to have Saquon. You had JT.
I was getting Saquon. That was
he would have taken Saquon.
Every year,
1,000%. Yeah.
Every year we think Mosert's going to fall off a cliff, and he doesn't. But he was the running back 2 last year. He got him in the 7th round.
But there's no way that. There's no way that matches.
But even if he's close, he got the last year running back 2 in the 7th round.
He's got an RB2. He's got RBs kind of on lock right now with Jerome Ford and Amari Cooper. He can kind of interchange Mostert.
Ford, Kamara, Jones.
He has 3.
A couple of them are going to hit.
He has 3 serviceable running backs. I guess.
And
not
at least
unlocked,
one will hit.
3 serviceable running backs.
Yeah. And he went with the value, but didn't dip as low as some feel the Dak level. I mean, he went with Joe Burrow, which is a great value at quarterback. Kyle Pitts, he's hurt, but that's the boom candidate for this year. He's going to do it this year, right?
Jordan Addison got suspended.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say, though, is this is the only time I'll ever say this ever, probably.
Please.
But he drafted the first defense in the league 4 rounds before the end of the draft, and I think it was a great pick. I think they were incredible last year, and their schedule this year is really freaking good. Like, you have Baltimore, that stinks, but before that you got Cleveland, whose offense is kind of questionable. New Orleans, definitely not good. The Giants, Pittsburgh. I mean, and they were incredible last year, and he knew it. I mean, he had it.
I think the difference is, too, is this is who Brad always wants, but now you're pairing it on a team that Brad drafted amazing. So just usually you feel like the team that goes and gets a defense first feels like they're making
normally
up for something.
I do think that, but even I, in a league I drafted in the other day, I drafted the Cowboys around this time. I never draft defenses early, but I did because I really believe the Cowboys defense is going to... They're just so good at takeaways and defensive touchdowns, and their schedule is nice because they play the NFC East or whatever it is, South. I don't know.
I just think he constructed his roster.
You were talking about us having our guys we always have. Who would be my guy? Answer whenever.
Your guy would be, for me, it's Drake London. I feel like he was all about him last year, wasn't he?
Well, I mean,
I think he's talking about for your player.
Oh, who's our guy? Mine's probably...
No, who would be my guy?
Yeah, so I don't know if he's talking about my guy. For him, I would put it...
For him, hold on. It's not a guy. It's the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, well...
For me, it's definitely London, though, because he was all about him last year. All, like, hardcore.
I feel like that was Coleman.
Again. I think he was. I think he had him most of the year. He traded him and got him back or something. I don't know.
Who would Logan's guy be? When I think of Logan, who do I think?
For me, my guy would be.
That's such an interesting.
I guess Garrett Wilson. I drafted him differently than I ever do. So
Logan,
Chubb. I don't know.
Logan's guy would be.
Mike's is Barkley.
Yeah, 100%.
Zach's is.
I didn't get him this.
It'd
be Rice though. I've already kind of.
Yeah, but like your guy that I can associate you with.
Yeah, it's called Cup.
Yeah, it would be putting that you have. It's probably Pacheco because I know you were all about him last year too a little bit. Like you were always talking. You always wanted him from me.
I would say Logan's guy honestly is Chase. I always feel like he ends up with Chase somehow. Maybe that's just
curious
recency.
about this. I'm curious about this. Robin's guy is Javonte. Everyone's got a guy.
Yeah.
Jordan's guy is definitely Debo.
Yep.
But maybe a little bit of Kyler in there. Kevin's guy is Probably.
No one this year.
Cook.
I was gonna say Cook. Yeah,
James
that's what I was
Cook.
gonna say too. We did Zach's, mine, Logan's. Coleman's guy is definitely Flowers, 100% Flowers.
Nico. It's Nico.
And Nico.
It's
Okay, those two
Nico.
guys. Yep, those are his guys. Brad's, Brad drafted different, but Brad's guys.
He always has most.
You just gotta give him Kyle Pitt. I give him
It might be-
Burrow.
I was gonna say
I
Mike
give him
Pitts.
Burrow actually.
Oh, Burrow. Okay,
It's
yeah.
Burrow.
My guy's Barkley. That's easy.
And we'll take
And
any of the
Dalton-
top 3 guys, and they're
Dalton's
interchangeable.
guys, Kelsey and Mahomes. Those are Dalton's guys.
But I think Logan's guy is Chase. I will say that.
I would say honestly,
Mine's,
though,
for me, it would be London.
it is funny that Logan asked that because he's probably the one guy.
Devontae Smith, maybe too. Logan,
Who-
yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I like Devon.
I think he's been about Devontae Smith before too.
Did
I
you
also
have-
know another guy that you don't have, Logan, would be Olave. He's another one of your guys. Well, I'm waiting for you to try to get him.
He'll get him.
Who is Olave?
Logan always that's one of Logan's guys.
But
Brad
I,
has him.
but I
We're
guess
talking about Brad.
I guess to summarize Brad's team, I think it's the
There's-
most. It's the best.
complete.
Yeah, it's the most round roster out there. I think so.
At this point, and we gotta remember this is we've not done it this way, but this is a draft special
With
but
upside.
Also, week
Look,
one.
I've switched. I'm a wide receiver guy. Wide receiver because wide receivers their misses are a lot better than running back
safe.
misses, and he's got four. You got four good wide
Great
receivers.
ones.
So I guess that wraps up the rankings.
There's our
and
rankings.
drafts.
To sum it up, it's what's the order? It's Dalt, Jordan, Kevin, Coleman, Will, Logan, Robin, Zach, Mike, Brad.
Yeah, you did it the way Kevin sends us the
reversed.
rankings last first.
Sorry, the other way around.
That's my guy.
So we'll go through matchups just real quick, like 2 minutes, and then did we decide on a punishment this year?
Oh yeah, we need to kind of see. We talked about doing a destination draft next year, potentially Labor Day weekend. So we need to kind of confirm if that's something.
I also have a suggestion for punishment, and it's custom bumper sticker that you have to use for a year. The league gets to pick what it is. It can't be something that could get you pulled over or like judged, or like you can't have like
Shot.
cuss words on it or anything.
Yeah,
But
get
custom bumper sticker, like his or her pronouns or whatever, something like that. Just an idea, but we do need to talk about that this year because we got to lock that in before the season ends for sure.
Yeah. Everyone send some ideas. We got them in your ranking little chat, and we'll create a poll. So
Let's go finish up some matchups here. So first matchup, Cowboy versus Wife Kid. No probs here.
Wife, kid, no probs here.
I can't follow.
We're predicted
So
very similar. We go back and forth on who's going to win.
the league who submitted it, counting sleepers projection, was a 50-50 split. Will versus Coleman.
I mean, based on the scoring projection, it's 50-50 split as well. Who freaking knows? What I think this game's going to come down to is it's going to come down to our wide receivers for the Texans. Is it going to be Diggs or is it going to be Nico Collins? Because everything else is very much close.
Does Kenny Moore play like a specific, like is he like a slot or anything like that, or is he going to shut down the one? Because I think that could be just the outlier. Because
I don't think Kenny Moore shuts down people.
That's, I don't.
I
Basically,
think
what
he
I'm saying is, I don't know if the Colts are going to shut down a wide receiver.
No, the Colts won't shut down any wide receiver.
Oh,
But which one is going to be the one that gets the main award?
Man.
So, I mean, defense-wise, split.
You have such an
Split
interesting
areas.
matchup. You guys are so similar.
We are very similar.
You guys always match up too.
Like, when you get to, like, our power offensive weapons, like, for my quarterback and stuff, I feel like I have that edge. And I also don't trust Najee.
Oh, it's
at
tough.
all.
Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy.
I mean, obviously, I take myself.
I feel like Jalen Hurts is a big
bump.
outlier. You guys, your running back twos are very
Their team's
low
identical.
compared to each other. I think the outlier for me is CeeDee Lamb, though. Over and Garrett will. Okay. Okay. Joe Keenan. Wow, you guys have like identical. Wow, you were all in on the Bears too.
No, I'm not. I don't like Keenan now. He's just there right now. I want to put in Pollard or Elliott, but I can't because
I'm
I
going to
have
go
to
Coleman
see
and Bo. I'm going to go
Allen.
Coleman. Coleman finds a way to get off the year on a good start.
Yep, I'm going Coleman
I
too.
also always lose my first week
Yeah.
matchup, so
I'm going
Good.
Coleman.
I think
don't know if I've
Coleman
ever-
does too.
I don't know if I've
So-
ever won. No, him and me played a couple of years ago and he beat me.
Coleman starts hot.
I never lose.
Coleman
I never win
starts
my
hot.
first matchup.
Q Daddy.
All right,
Congrats.
we got
That's Rob.
Robin with the highest projection. Now I think this might be part of the reason why when we got rankings early, like updated rankings, Robin got really high. Like part of the reason people noticed it was because he's got the highest projection.
Well, including the projection, all the votes that came in, not including themselves, he received 100% of the votes.
Robin did
100% of the votes.
Yep.
I'm actually gonna go Jordan.
Like not because of
Yeah,
that.
Do you want to look at the matchup first?
I like Jordan.
Wait, let's look at the matchup
I really
first.
do.
But look at the matchup. That's
Yeah,
what
I think
like to break
Kyler is
them.
gonna be a stud, and essentially they play each other.
Okay, but
That's
so
cool.
Kyron versus
That'll be a
Allen.
shootout.
Allen's gonna obviously win that one.
McCaffrey versus Etienne.
Etienne. I was just kidding.
Okay. Do it the other way around. Do it McCaffrey versus Kyron.
Okay.
And then
McCaffrey.
Montgomery versus Etienne.
It doesn't matter. He's gonna
Yeah,
win
okay.
one.
Etienne.
Yeah.
Neighbors
Debo.
versus Debo. Yeah.
Pippen.
DJ for me.
Ooh, wow.
Kincaid versus Njoku. Kincaid. Cup versus
Ooh.
Metcalf. Cup.
I like Cup,
But I do like Connor here. Both their defenses are projected a lot.
It's a very split to see such a big difference in the projection. Like when we break it down our way.
Isn't it weird when
But
you break it down our way? It seems like it should be
here's
close.
the thing. I think the difference between Dave Montgomery and Etienne or Kyron Williams is substantial enough to get the dub done.
Compared to the rest of the team is very
Yep,
even.
it's very even.
Yeah, and
But
I can see that.
Where it's gonna be interesting is Kincaid versus Njoku.
I think it's also the QB because the QB is showing like a 5-6 point spread.
But Kyler's able to do it.
Yeah,
If
he's
anyone- yeah.
also running.
But yeah, I'm surprised it's 100% Robin. I thought there'd be at least one. I'll
You
throw
kind of
mine.
swayed me.
I'm gonna throw my way.
I'm really on the fence here with this one now that I'm looking at it.
I'm
Breakdown way.
I'm gonna go Jordan. I always seem like
Wow,
I
Well, then I'll take-
I really swayed you.
I was on
guys
the
here.
fence, but I'll take Robin because somebody here has to. He got 100%. His team is better.
Wow.
Interesting though. We got Dalt versus Kev.
Bijan.
Kev received 85% of the votes.
Really?
I think comes down to one person
I like
voting for
Mahomes.
Dalt.
Henry Bijan. Boy, that's.
When we say these votes, by the way, we don't include ourselves. Someone said, please put in Pollard. I'm not putting in Pollard.
I'll
but
take Pollard.
I might next week after Pollard goes off.
Oh my gosh! See, this is where I just struggle with Dalt's team. His wide receiver 1 is Godwin against Puka. Like I can't even sit here and have a conversation with you guys about that.
But
Sure we can.
Godwin,
It's a short
but
one.
then it's Cooper versus Dell.
Yeah, it's like I think I like Cooper.
That is wow. Yeah.
Xavier Worthy versus Rashawn. I'm gonna go
I mean-
Kevin.
Yeah,
I'm
Cook
going-
versus Dobbs. That one's really easy.
Giants.
Why is he not put McBride in? McBride's only projected 9. That was a 4th round pick. You put him in over Dobbs.
He wants the Thursday night players, maybe. We'll see what Worthy can be. I would wait on
No.
Worthy personally.
I could see that, but I think Dobbs.
Or Dobbs,
Dobbs is
definitely.
questionable, and
Yeah,
so you throw him in. I mean, he also has Robinson as well.
but that's the problem. That's why you don't do 2 tight ends because it feels bad to start 2 tight ends, even if you have 2 of the best tight ends.
I don't like having Laporta in at tight end. It doesn't feel. I'm going Kevin.
Yeah, I will as well.
K Dog. Sorry, D Dog.
K Money.
But hey, somebody else voted for you, Dalt. Don't worry.
There's somebody out there.
This is Logan versus Brad. Our number 1 ranked team versus our number 4
So
or 5.
I want to say this is probably not a shocker,
Okay,
but it could be
Could
that
be.
Logan received 0% of the votes.
Why does Devontae
Logan got 0 votes.
Yeah, Brad got 100%.
Wow. I think even Logan voted for Brad. I think Logan said he would win.
That's
Devontae
funny.
But
Smith is poop, huh?
we specifically said Logan's team, especially week 1,
Yeah, it's gonna be brutal this week.
was going to be a
Logan, I
rough
think.
week. Now it might not be, but this is his worst.
Especially when
week.
Jamar doesn't play. I don't
got
think
the
he's
question
playing,
mark.
bro.
Isn't it funny that this was flipped the other way when we were doing the draft? Like, I don't know if Ayuk
Yeah.
will play, but Jamar Chase will. And that completely flipped.
Wasn't it crazy? Because one in the morning of the draft, where there's like Jamar Chase arrived to practice.
Yeah,
and,
Brad
like,
gave him the intel.
Yeah, slipped
He
in
really
the info.
I'm gonna go Dr. Love because Logan's a couple weeks away from being.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Logan won this, but I will also go with Brad.
I just can't answer because of Jamar Chase.
Also
Like,
don't love
even if I
McLaurin.
wanted to give a dart throw to Logan, it just doesn't feel. He's
Throw
also,
the dart.
He's also only projected 11.8.
I think
Chase.
it's because he hasn't been practicing.
Yeah.
Throw that dart.
I mean, no matter what,
Just
in
think
there.
if Chase
even if
plays,
he plays no matter what, he has not been practicing. He doesn't know exactly what the team's
dude,
planning.
him and Burrow are connected to the hip.
All right, our last matchup
Right.
is you two.
This is a fun one.
I think I gotta use.
You do. You received 57% of the votes.
I am surprised I'm favored in the league, but
Um,
Wow. Close,
you
though.
were ranked number 2. You
All right.
beat me everywhere.
I'm just surprised how
Quarterback,
I feel about my team.
I would have Zach winning, especially when the Colts play Houston at home. The Colts always put up points.
That they do.
Okay.
Amen.
Running back.
Remember what you just said.
Running back, I edge you out, but I do have a soft spot for Pacheco. So, but I do edge
the
you
Colts
out.
put up a lot of points at home against the Titans.
They sure do.
Where's T.Y.?
That they do. Mixon versus Barkley is interesting because it's like the same player. It's like two guys that are like maybe they lost a step on a different team now.
You're gonna hurt me.
Yeah, but you have a soft spot for Mixon.
Not as much as Barkley. I have Barkley up on my wall.
Barkley is 27 and Mixon is probably what, 30? Oh
Yeah.
wow, they're that
Ancient,
Mixon
yeah.
feels like he's so old, does he not? He's been in the league forever.
I just feel like people are sleeping on Saquon a little bit. I don't know why.
There's just
I
a lot
agree.
of that's another conversation. There's a lot of mouths to feed there.
Swift was amazing there.
The way I think it's very similar to actually the 49ers getting CMC.
I just think he's boring. I think
Barkley?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he's boring this year.
Not in the open field, man. Dude's a monster.
You can say that about pretty much anybody else but Waddle.
And it's not similar because he's not going to get the goal line rushing touchdowns because they're all going to go to freaking Hurts.
I don't know. Kelsey's
don't know
gone.
that.
We'll see.
Everyone says like
I will say Swift had like a
that's-
ton of touches inside the 5 last year. He just couldn't
He
convert.
just couldn't do it. He fell on the 1 every time.
It's just when
and
he gets to the 1.
Yeah.
It's just when it's an issue.
Harrison Evans is. You can't really judge that. We don't know yet.
you got to give it to Evans, I think, just on history.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't love it.
He's also playing Washington. Does Washington have
Well, Buffalo lost Hyde and the other guy.
Wow, we have such an
No,
interesting
Hyde and
matchup.
Poyer. They're both
they
gone.
lost both safeties?
Our
yeah.
matchup's really
Oh, what's his face is going to start
Who?
then? DeMar?
DeMar?
Yeah.
He's not starting.
I bet he is.
No way.
Mhm.
Rice, I like over Waddle.
I like Waddle.
Laporta
You are
and Andrews.
Yeah.
This is such a matchup. Now, oh my God, these guys both are crap. It's a wash there.
T. Higgins.
No,
is
that's
crap.
some
What are you
slander.
talking
Both
about?
these guys are shit.
T.
He
Higgins can wide receiver 1.
That is wrong.
was the wide receiver 49 last
I
year.
understand.
And
You know
Jalen Reed
what
was
he
the wide
does.
receiver 23.
I understand last year, but
That's not fair.
Higgins barely.
I can't
played.
tell which one you're saying isn't fair.
That Higgins is definitely worth being spoken about. Oh
He is,
my
no, he is worth being spoken about.
Look
but
at 2022 or something. Is he 49 again? That's crazy.
No, I
That's
don't
no,
think that
hilarious.
he's
changes.
not.
Okay.
But
That
it's
doesn't
not
change.
that good.
You scroll down to the bottom to career.
23,
Just go to keep
whatever.
going. 17.
One time he was the 17.
He's
It's
hurt.
not that good.
He's
Wide
always
receiver
He wasn't that
17?
hurt. He got more receptions than he did last
He's
year.
my flex.
But I'm just saying he's not really worth
He's
talking about.
oh, yeah,
You're right,
in
because
this- in this
Tyreek is
scenario,
going to outscore
yeah.
He
both
is
of them
supposed to be a
combined.
flex guy.
He's gonna be a flex guy.
Now,
And Kirk's gonna outscore
you
Hill.
snuck Tyreek down
I
there.
didn't sneak him there. I didn't do it.
He's
because
like
I have,
sneaky down here.
It's because-
I was
oh,
like,
where
look
did
at this.
he
Is
go?
like this is way closer than I realized. And then all of a sudden you got Tyreek Hill.
I don't know
versus
why
Christian.
Reed got pushed down, but it's because I have 2 Thursday, Friday games.
But I do like Christian Kirk a lot. But I mean Tyreek Hill. is
No.
That's a wash.
Zach have a very interesting thing
I
about our
personally
matchup.
just love
We
Zach.
have Waddle and Hill.
Yeah, and we have Taylor and Richardson.
Yeah. we're
Interesting.
going to be watching the same games.
But yeah, I think I win by 20.
I mean, I think Higgins' situation makes him a lot better for you this week.
That's true.
Yeah.
That could work out good for Higgins with that going on.
Oh,
Obviously, I'm going
I have
myself.
Zach.
I need to trade.
Just because you got the itch, or you don't like what your team
My
looks
team's
like?
boring. They're good players. I think that. Oh, you want to do predictions, or you want to save it for next time?
Save it.
Predictions.
Yeah, who do you think misses the playoffs?
We'll do it after a week. Yeah, we'll do it after a week.
Why? Way too early.
Yeah,
Well, I just think we're an hour.
I agree.
Actually, it's not as long as I thought,
It's
but we're an hour.
been an
20.
hour 15 or so.
we just had a lot of prep this time.
Well, I can't wait to win this week. It's been fun. Tomorrow's the beginning of D-Day.
you guys all enjoy your Christmases. Tomorrow is the first day of, I don't even know how long.
I will be joining
6
Christmas,
months.
by the way, with whoever's house it's at. I'm there.
All right.
I don't know if I'll be there for the 1 and 3
Oh,
late
yes.
games. Because how many late games are there?
Christmas. It's pretty good, but it's not as good because of the Friday game.
That's what I was gonna say.
I
If
think
there's
there's
only
still
like 2, I can't do it.
4.
There's
Probably
4.
a
I'll
bunch
do
because
it.
there's no buys.
If there's
Yeah.
4, I'll do it.
Well, it was fun.
That was fun. We'll give you guys some play-out music, the few of you that are left.
Yep, thank you.
We appreciate you guys.
had
The
a
rest of you guys
lot
who
of-
stayed there.
16 views ain't too bad. We had a lot of...
We were basically
four.
double digits the whole time.
There's four. Four
See you,
games
boys.
at 4.
See you, boys.
Bye-bye.
Eventually. See you soon. Okay, see ya. See ya.
Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo.
There it goes. There it goes.
I haven't looked at our matchup. I didn't realize how.